Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor. Here are the latest headlines. Shuttler PV Sindhu creates history, becomes the first Indian woman to win silver at the Olympics. Bows down in a heartwarming match against world number 1 Carolina Marin of Spain in the women's badminton singles final. A day after Sindhu wins silver and a billion hearts at Rio Games, frenzy refuses to die down. President, Prime Minister and people across the country heap praise on the ace shuttler. Pakistan ignores India's refusal for Foreign Secretary level talks on Kashmir, invokes UN Security Council resolutions and human rights in Jammu and Kashmir, invites Foreign Secretary S. Shankar to visit Islamabad by month end. Opposition parties led by Omar Abdullah to meet President today on the issue of Kashmir unrest. Normal life remains paralyzed for 43rd day in the valley. Northern Army commander appeals for calm. UN chief offers to help in dialogue. And US comes close to combat in war-torn country of Syria. American fighter planes scramble to Kurdish-controlled Hasakeh after Syrian warplanes target area used by US military. Pentagon warns Assad regime to avoid action near its forces. Our top story this morning, Sindhu made history, becoming the first woman to win an Olympic silver for India at the Rio Games. Now, thanks to her feat, India has now 2 medals at Olympics this year. Well, Sindhu lost to Spain's world number 1 Carolina Marin in the thrilling final of the women's badminton single. The nation was in frenzy even before shuttler PV Sindhu began her women's singles final. And as the game began, the tempo only went higher. In a thrilling encounter, Sindhu trailed her opponent, world number 1 Carolina Marin, for most of the set, but kept herself with a close fight. At 16-19, Marin needed just 2 points to take the set, but Sindhu made a sensational comeback to win the next 5 points and take the first set. However, world champion Marin came back strongly in the second set and opened up a big lead at the start. The Spaniard then produced a dominating display to keep up the lead and won the second set comfortably 21-12.
It's one game all in the women's singles final.
It was all down to the wire in the third set as both players went neck and neck till the small break, with Marin leading 11-10. The world number 1 then picked up her game and shattered Indian hearts as she won the match 12-21, 21-12, 21-15.
गोल्ड मेडल हासिल किया रियो ओलंपिक्स में.
I'm very happy. I can just tell you that I'm on cloud 9 today, and it's been a wonderful week for me, even though I've got silver. But then yes, even she played really well, and in the finals we really fought hard, we both of us, but then one should win and one should lose. So it was her rate today, I can tell you that, and I think overall it was a good game, and yes, and I've settled with the silver. I'm really very proud. I'm very thankful to everybody out there because who all supported and who all prayed for me, because they've really supported me a lot, and I'm very thankful to them. I would dedicate this medal to my coach and my parents.
I think hats off to Sindhu for the kind of effort she's put in. I think first Olympics, young girl coming out there, and then she fought like hell. And the amount of hormone she must have generated to get that kind of energy going in all her 4 matches was fantastic. And today the final also, she fought hell. Very proud of the fact that she gave it all she had. Marin was the better player, I would think, today. And Sindhu has learned her lessons and hopefully come back stronger next time.
Despite the loss, it was still a proud moment for India as Sindhu became the first Indian woman to win a silver medal at the Olympics.
Silver medal. for a female athlete from
This being the first Olympics for Sindhu, we are very happy the performance which she has exhibited. Sindhu will definitely perform well and keeps the hopes of all the Indians high.
The hearts of all the Indians. She is the youngest women player to win silver medal. So we are happy, but we congratulate Marin. She played extraordinary game today.
पीवी सिंधु ने आज सबसे अपना अच्छा बेहतर प्रदर्शन किया है और मैं उनको भी बधाई देता हूं सिल्वर मेडल जीतने के ऊपर और उसके साथ साथ उनके कोच गोपी चंद को भी बधाई देता हूं और उनके पेरेंट्स को भी मुबारकबाद देता हूं कि सिंधु ने आज पूरे देश के लिए सिल्वर मेडल जीता। हमारे लिए ये बड़े गर्व, खुशी की और उत्साह की बात है।
India has salvaged some pride at Rio thanks to 2 medals from women. On Thursday, Sakshi Malik created history by becoming the first female wrestler to win a medal by taking the bronze. Sindhu's feat only makes it better for the Indian contingent, which has disappointed otherwise. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And congratulatory messages poured from across the country. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi hailed Sindhu and said that her accomplishments in Rio Olympics is historic. In a message to Sindhu, President Pranab Mukherjee also said that Sindhu's grit and brilliant display will inspire confidence amongst all Indian sportspersons. Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari also said that both Sindhu and bronze winner Sakshi Malik have done the nation proud. Let's listen in to some more reactions.
It's a moment of great pride for all Indians. For all the badminton players in the world today, one of our athletes is number 2 in the world. She was ranked number 10, you have to remember that, and she was playing against world number 1. And world number 1 player had maintained her status right up to the Olympics. That means she had some strength. PV Sindhu had defeated the world number 2 and therefore fought all the way to come to this level. And even in the final, she fought very well.
Silver also at the world level is very important. She played very well, she fought and she won silver for the first time, I think. Seeing the game, she fought just like a brave girl. She never just left everything. That is very important. Till end, she gave a very good fight.
The first game was phenomenal. I mean, the crowd was ecstatic. Wish the same pace continued. It's really unfortunate, very sad. But she played a good game. She's played a brilliant tournament. Silver for Sindhu, historic. More power to women. Lots more to come her way.
It's a moment of great pride for.
And on to some more news from the Rio Olympic Games. Well, golfer Aditi Ashok went through a tough third round of 8 over 79 to drop 23 places to be tied 31st in the women's golf event. Aditi played a poor back 9 where she was bogged down by 5 bogeys. She now has a 3-day total of 2 over 215. With Friday's performance, her hopes of getting a medal has ended. Meanwhile, Indian athletics contingent rounded off their dismal show in the Rio Olympics with a below-par effort from the 4x400 meter relay quadrants, which saw them crash out of their respective heats. The women's team finished 7th in their heats, while the men's team faced embarrassment of being disqualified. Meanwhile, India's Sandeep Kumar finished lowly 34th in the men's 550-kilometer race walk event. Sandeep clocked 4 hours, 7 minutes and 55 seconds, which was 26 minutes, 57 seconds behind the gold medalist. In women's 20-kilometer race walk, Khushbir Kaur finished 54th, while Sapna did not finish the race. And Indian wrestler Sandeep Tomar crashed out of the men's freestyle 57-kilogram competition. He lost to 2-time world champion Viktor Lebedev of Russia 3-7 in the 57-kilogram category. However, Tomar got eliminated after his pre-quarter opponent Viktor Lebedev of Russia was beaten 1-6 against Iran's opponent in their last 8 contests. Let's take a look at some more events that made headlines at the Rio Games. Well, Usain Bolt ended his Olympic career by claiming an unprecedented triple treble and his 9th gold medal as Jamaica won the 4x100-meter relay final in Rio. Now, Bolt had won, remember, the 100 meters and 200 meters in Rio and is the only man to win all 3 sprint events at the Games. Now, he combined with Asafa Powell, Yahan Blake and Nickel Ashimede to finish in 37.27 seconds. Japan won a surprise silver to push the US into a bronze position as Britain came 6th. Meanwhile, China's Liu Hong narrowly defeated Mexico's Maria Guadalupe Gonzalez to win the women's 20-kilometer walk. Liu won in a time of 1 hour 28 minutes and 35 seconds, finishing 2 seconds ahead of Gonzalez after making a thrilling dash to the final line. Now, Colombia's Mariana Pejon successfully defended her Olympic title by winning the women's BMX as the US's Cornor Fields took men's gold. World champion Pejon beat US's silver medalist Elise Post in front of a crowd which is packed with delighted Colombian supporters. Venezuela's Steffi Hernandez won the bronze medal. Let's now take a look at the overall medal tally on day 14. Well, the US leads the table with 105 medals. That includes 38 gold, 35 silver and 32 bronze. Britain stands at the second spot with 24 gold medals. China stands at the third position with 65 medals. That includes 22 gold, 18 silver and 25 bronze. Meanwhile, India jumped to the 61st position in the medals tally after ace shuttler PV Sindhu secured a silver in the badminton's finals. On to some other news now. And Minister of State for External Affairs MJ Akbar arrived in war-torn Syrian capital of Damascus on Friday for a 2-day visit. Now, Akbar will meet a Syrian president and a foreign minister today to explore steps to counter growing threats from the Islamic State that has attracted some young men from India as well. Now, Akbar, who is on an 8-day West Asia visit, includes Lebanon and Iraq in a bid to reaffirm India's deep interest in promoting bilateral ties. Well, on the last leg of his visit, Akbar will stop in Iraq, where he will hold talks with the Iraqi foreign minister on bilateral, regional and international issues of mutual interest. Meanwhile, Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu met External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj in New Delhi on Friday. Well, the two foreign ministers held wide-ranging talks on a range of bilateral and regional issues. Both sides finalized a roadmap for cooperation between the two countries in a wide variety of fields in the coming years. Now, he also called on Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari later in the day. Cavusoglu is on a 3-day visit to India and will depart for Hyderabad today to inaugurate the Turkish Consulate building. Now, this is Cavusoglu's first official visit to India. And Nepal's Deputy Prime Minister Bimlendra Nidhi met Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj and Home Minister Rajnath Singh in the capital on Friday. During the meeting with the Foreign Minister, Nidhi conveyed the steps being taken by Nepal Prime Minister Prachanda to promote political stability by resolving all contentious issues, including the Madheshi issue. Earlier, Home Minister Rajnath Singh and Nidhi agreed to visit the Indo-Nepal border areas soon, which has seen agitation by Madheshis over Nepal's new constitution. Nidhi also conveyed to the Home Minister that this visit is primarily to clear all misunderstandings that cropped in the recent past between the two countries. Nidhi also called on President Pranab Mukherjee and reiterated the invitation to him extended by his Nepalese counterpart Bidya Devi Bhandari to visit Nepal at its earliest convenience. And India and China held the 8th high-level financial and economic dialogue in Beijing on Friday. The summit aims to strengthen trade and economic cooperation. Now, both the countries aim to underline the need to build solidarity in order to adopt macroeconomic policies. Secretary of Economic Affairs Shantikanta Das, accompanied by a team of officials from the RBI and the Finance Ministry, attended the annual dialogue along with the Chinese delegation. The dialogue mechanism looks at exchanging ideas and status reports on the macroeconomic situation in both the countries. India and China shared their economic and fiscal policies and discussed issues of structural reforms and bilateral investment. Well, the dialogue is being held ahead of the G20 summit that is to be held in Guangzhou, followed by the BRICS summit that is to be held in Goa. The summit would focus on global economic slowdown and initiatives to spur growth.
共同发声，敦促主要发达国家采取负责任的宏观建议。另一个方面呢，要加强彼此之间的宏观经济政策协调，积极采取措施促进本国经济的增长。
And Pakistan has ignored India's offer to hold talks on cross-border terrorism and has invited Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar to visit Islamabad by the end of this month to discuss Kashmir dispute. Now, invoking the UN Security Council resolutions and the aspirations of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, Pakistan stressed on the need to find a fair and just solution to the Kashmir issue. Islamabad also called for an end to the human rights violations against the innocent people of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, this is the second time in a week that Pakistan has reiterated its demand to talk on Kashmir. Earlier on Monday, Pakistan had invited India for talks on Kashmir, saying that it is the international obligation of both the countries to resolve the issue. However, India on Wednesday had rejected Pakistan's proposal to hold Foreign Secretary level talks on Kashmir and had insisted that discussions should be held on aspects related to cross-border terrorism, which are central to the current situation in Jammu and Kashmir. Meanwhile, a delegation of Jammu and Kashmir's mainstream opposition parties will meet President Pranab Mukherjee at the Rashtrapati Bhavan today to apprise him of the prevailing situation in the Kashmir Valley. The curfew remains in force for the 43rd day today in several areas, with fresh clashes reported on Friday with the security personnel. The army has appealed for calm. Leaders of Jammu and Kashmir's opposition parties, led by former Chief Minister and President of National Conference Omar Abdullah, will meet President Pranab Mukherjee in New Delhi today. The 20-member delegation would meet the President at 1:30 p.m. and apprise him of the situation in the valley. The opposition parties have accused New Delhi and state government for mishandling the situation post-Burhan Wani encounter and are demanding a probe by a retired Supreme Court judge into allegations of excessive use of force by the security personnel.
ये पहली मर्तबा हमने देखा है कि मरकज़ में बजाय ये कि हुकूमत इनिशिएटिव ले, ऑपोजिशन ने मजबूर किया हुकूमत को कि वो जम्मू कश्मीर पे बात करे। हमने अपने कुछ आगे के कदम के बारे में जिक्र किया है, कुछ मरकज़ की हुकूमत को भी हमारा एक अपील गया है और कुछ हमारे सजेशंस रहे हैं, जिससे हमें लगता है कि कम से कम अगर फौरी तौर एक हल नहीं तो कुछ तो हालात को बेहतर करने में थोड़ी सी मदद मिल जाएगी।
Meanwhile, curfew continues for the 43rd day today in several districts of the valley. On Friday, fresh clashes between irate crowds and security forces erupted at 24 places across Kashmir, leaving scores injured, 2 of them critically. The army has also ordered an investigation into the death of a school teacher, Shabir Ahmed, who was allegedly beaten to death by soldiers during raids at a village. The death led to fresh protests and the army has appealed for calm.
My appeal is to everyone for calm. I think we all have to sit down, put our heads together and see if we can find an end to this. I know it's not easy, the situation is difficult, but I think there is nothing else which is the need of the hour. As a policy, our instruction very, very clearly, and I know it is the same with the police, is that please exercise restraint and try and break this. But you know, there is another element which needs to also look into this and say, let us not encourage and motivate people to go with stones and attack police parties, attack operating bases.
Meanwhile, UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon deplored the deaths in the current unrest in Jammu and Kashmir. He also offered to facilitate dialogue between India and Pakistan to achieve a negotiated settlement on all the outstanding issues, including Kashmir. Ban Ki-moon said the UN remains convinced that it is only through dialogue that the outstanding issues between Pakistan and India, including on Kashmir, can be addressed. Earlier, Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif had apprised the UN chief about what he called was a deteriorating situation in Kashmir. Meanwhile, the Jammu and Kashmir High Court will continue hearing a case on the use of pellet guns by security personnel. On Friday, CRPF had said that ban on pellet guns will only prove counterproductive. Nearly 70 people have been killed and thousands more injured in Kashmir Valley in clashes with security forces in the wake of the killing of Kashmiri separatist Burhan Wani in a military operation on 8th of July. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned. Welcome back after the break. Now news from Bihar, where 15 policemen, including the officer in charge of the town police station in Gopalganj, have been suspended in connection with the huge tragedy which has killed 16 people in the state. Now 6 people have also been arrested and an FIR has been lodged against 14 people. Well, the tragedy was the first major incident after Bihar was declared a total dry state in April this year. Now, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has expressed grave concern over the tragedy and has said that culprits would be dealt under stringent new liquor law. The administration has conducted massive raids and confiscated at least 300 litres of country liquor from the area. News from Chhattisgarh. In an anti-Maoist operation in the Maoist sympathizers, including 2 women, surrendered on Friday in Chhattisgarh's insurgency-hit Kondagaon district. Now, all of them had warrants issued against them for serious offences connected with Maoist violence. Now, according to police, regular patrolling and the increasing presence of security forces in the Maoist stronghold forced them to quit the path of violence and join in the mainstream.
कई सारे अपराधों में शामिल थे और इनके खिलाफ न्यायालय में वारंट भी पेंडिंग, अस्थायी वारंट जारी हुआ है। आज ये लोग हमारे सामने पेश होकर के समाज की मुख्य धारा में जुड़ने का इन्होंने संकल्प लिया है।
And former President of Afghanistan, Hamid Karzai, has come out strongly in support of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's stand on Balochistan. In an interview to Rajya Sabha television, Karzai cautioned the people of Jammu and Kashmir not to be swayed by Pakistan. He said that Pakistan is misusing them for its own narrow strategic objectives. Well, you can now watch the entire interview at 12 noon and 5 p.m. tomorrow.
Afghanistan's former president Hamid Karzai feels that Pakistan, after exploiting the sentiments of people in Afghanistan, is now playing the same tricks with the people of Kashmir. On a personal visit to India, Karzai spoke exclusively to Rajya Sabha TV on issues related to India, Pakistan and Afghanistan. He said peace is eluding Afghanistan only because of Pakistan's strategic designs. Karzai also told the people of Kashmir to defeat the designs of Pakistan and integrate with India.
I will tell our Kashmiri brothers this, that Afghanistan also was helped in the same way. But then we saw that help began to work against us, began to cause us suffering, began to cause us damage, began to cause us the loss of our country and our lives in a very disastrous way. So I hope they will understand. I hope they will not disturb their own peace, their own lives, and live with their own brothers in India peacefully and in harmony.
Having been president of Afghanistan for 2 terms, Karzai accepted that his efforts to establish peace with Pakistan had not yielded results. Endorsing the remarks of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he said the people of Balochistan are suffering the atrocities inflicted on them by the Pakistani army. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some international news. Well, Myanmar's Foreign Minister Aung San Suu Kyi met Chinese President Xi Jinping on the third day of her visit to Beijing on Friday. Well, during the meeting, Xi Jinping promised that China will continue to play a constructive role in promoting Myanmar's peace process and work with the country to safeguard peace and stability in the border areas. Both China and Myanmar share long borders, and Beijing had deployed military at the border last year after 5 people were killed in a firing by a Myanmarese jet plane. Myanmar also sought Beijing's support for negotiations with armed groups such as many that have been operating there. This visit by Suu Kyi comes ahead of Myanmar's hosting of a long-planned conference with armed ethnic groups later this month. Suu Kyi will leave from Beijing today to visit other provinces of China. Now, the Pentagon warned Syria on Friday not to conduct airstrikes near its own forces in the country. Now, the move came a day after US scrambled its jets to defend against attacks by the Syrian government aircrafts. Now, remember, the aircraft from the US-led coalition was sent to the area of northeastern Syria on Thursday after Syrian jets conducted airstrikes against the Kurdish forces. The US made it clear that it would take whatever action was necessary to defend its forces in the area. Syrian forces left as soon as the US fighter jets arrived. Now, backed by the US Special Operations Forces, Kurdish forces have been fighting against Islamic State in and around Haseke. On to some cricket news, and the entire second day of the fourth and final test match between India and West Indies was lost due to poor weather and unplayable conditions on Friday. The second day's play was called off without a single ball being bowled as the hosts remained at the overnight score of 62 for 2. No play was possible after 2 umpire inspections deemed the ground unfit for continuation of the match. The sun shone bright in the morning, but for the lack of proper equipment, the ground could not be prepared for a timely start. That's all in this edition of news. Thanks for watching.